welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Kat.
And I'm Sophia.
And we're going to talk about this week.
Yeah.
What did you do this week?
I did a lot of homework over the weekend. I went home and visited my family because I had a death in the family.
So sorry.
It's okay. But I did a lot of homework while I was home, so I caught up with everything, which was nice. I got to see my family, getting prepared for Halloween, so I bought a bunch of candy. I'm going to pass it out to the kiddos. And
that's going to be awesome.
It is. I'm excited. I love just seeing little kids be so cute in their little costumes. It's so nice. They look so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This week was homecoming. It was really fun. We had a basketball win, even though it was just an exhibition game. KU beat Fort Hays State, which was really exciting. I had the opportunity to actually film the post-interview with Bill Self.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that must be
on Thursday,
awesome.
which was cool. Yeah, as part of being in the J school. It was a volunteer shift that I got to do, so
that's awesome.
It was really interesting. Yeah,
you're lucky that you're there. I heard that the crowd was crazy. So
it was. It wasn't as full. The stands weren't as full as I had expected.
Yeah,
but it was really it was an exciting game because we played pretty close with Fort Hays State the first half of the game, and then the second half we totally kicked their butts.
I know. I know. I really hope we keep it coming because I know a lot of people just have kind of given up on KU football, but I'm telling you, we're coming back. It would be awesome. Awesome. Did you do anything else for homecoming?
I went to the game. I went to the football game on Saturday.
Nice.
I went to the parade on Friday. It was really interesting. It was lots of different floats, lots of cool things.
Floats.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah. Have you heard about, I think we're doing free flu shots on campus this week. I think we were doing it last week too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. I think it's kind of flu season is coming around, so.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it in my voice. I don't think I have the flu.
You know, I also think that the weather's changing, and that's been getting my allergies kind of messed up too. So I think everybody's just kind of, and when you live so close to other people, do you live in a dorm or where do you live?
I do. I live in a dorm building.
See, I live in a house with 4 roommates, and I know if one of us gets sick, all of us get sick, and then our friends get sick, so it's just kind of like you got to be careful. So go get your flu shot.
Make sure you're taking care of yourself, sleeping, drinking water.
Lots of water. Stay hydrated. It's very important.
Yeah, with the weather getting colder.
Yes, with the weather getting colder. Actually, a good point. You're supposed to expect some snow on Wednesday.
Yeah, something like that. Adrian will tell us about the weather later and kind of give us some warnings. But Halloween this year is going to be really cold.
Oh gosh. Do you remember any specific Halloweens when you were a kid where it was that cold?
Yeah, I used to live in Ohio when I was little, maybe 5 years old, and I had this costume that my grandma made me, and it was supposed to be a mouse, but it kind of looked like a rat, and I had layers underneath because it was maybe 30 degrees outside, and I remember always just having to bundle up for Halloween when I was super young. So
I know. I don't think there's ever a time where I didn't have to bring a jacket, or my parents would make me, and I would be like, no, I don't want to. It'll ruin my outfit. But you know, I think my favorite outfit as a kid was when I was a little nurse and I had a little nurse hat. That was adorable. It was really cute. I was a cute kid.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm excited for Halloween. I'm excited for this week. I'm actually kind of excited for the snow a little bit. I know that might sound crazy, but I haven't seen snow in a little bit, so it's nice.
Yeah, I like the cold weather. So
so do
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, you get to bundle up and be cozy.
Yeah.
Hot cocoa, and Christmas is coming up in December, so it's good. Yeah.
All right, well, that's all we have for today. We're going to have Nicole and Mary come in and give you guys the news in just a little bit.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
Welcome back. I'm Keely McCormick, and I'm here with journalism school alum Dylan Schoonover. Now, Dylan, tell me a little bit about what your career path looked like after graduation.
It's quite interesting. So I graduated, I went straight into television, doing creative services, and then I kind of got complacent or maybe even bored with that, and I said, I've got to create something that's a little more fun. So while I was in college, I interned, and I did 2 internships with radio, and we worked with the music industry, and we interviewed people, and it was all audio-based. And of course, being at the University of Kansas, we used lots of video. So I was like, well, what if we take that and we make a show or a segment about video that would be more appealing to people younger on television? Because local markets have a hard time reaching 13 to 30. They do well with 25 to 54, people who have money who buy things, but not so much, college students or even high school students. So I started a show, and it took off really fast. I toured the country, interviewed people like Mac Miller or Ellie Goulding or Imagine Dragons, Eric Church.
Wow.
Lived in a van, and then I lived in a tour bus, did about 200 shows a year, and had a fantastic time. Just had so much fun working with all these different acts and these talents, and have lots and lots of great stories to tell about it. So that was kind of one thing I did, and then my show ended after about 3 years. For a couple reasons. My wife got pregnant, and so she didn't want me to be gone for 200 years a year,
Makes sense.
which was legitimate. And then I also got a simultaneous offer to go be a director of marketing for a sports management company in Colorado. So shifted, went from the video side to the Stratcom side, and now I work with TV stations on the other side, promoting a financial services company that I work with, where we appear live in newscasts in Indianapolis and Lexington, Louisville, Denver, and Cincinnati. That's the other one.
Okay, wow. So you kind of done it all. So what advice do you have for kids going through college, people graduating this year, kind of to like choose the direction that they're going to go?
Kind of like yourself, because you told me off camera you're graduating this year.
Yes, I'm graduating. Scary stuff.
Well, it depends on where you're at in your time at the university. So one would be to get involved, to do things, say yes. Say yes more than you say no, because opportunities, you don't never know where they're going to come from. So with me, I met some fantastic mentors here at the university, and I've carried that through my life. A lot of times students don't realize that if they just listen and talk and interact with the people who are instructing them, they have a wealth of knowledge. And you could go 4 years and never know about somebody, or you could really get to know them and they can really help you because they have connections far beyond the University of Kansas that can help you. That'd be one thing I would say. Another thing would be make sure you do internships. I think it should be a given at this point, but not everybody does an internship. And don't expect to be paid. Just expect to work hard and to learn a lot, because out in the real world, you're going to learn a lot. We brought in somebody for an internship opportunity last week, and they came in, they toured, they're like, this is great. We're going to pay them. It was a paid internship, but they wrote back and said, can we like double that, because I think that's what I want when I'm in the I'm like, you're an intern, okay? So needless to say, they didn't get hired. So be ready to work, but don't expect to be paid a lot of money. And then I think that kind of sums up what I would say for what you should do while you're on campus.
So talking about internships, what advice and like suggestions do you have for people while they're looking for those internships?
So don't take your resume and throw it against the wall, okay? Nothing annoys me more as an employer than if somebody sends me something for an internship and they've applied to 70, and you call them and they're like, oh yeah, what was that you were doing, or what is your company? Okay. I just hang up on them. So take the time and make sure that you want whatever the internship is. Okay. So look at that and make sure you want to do it. And if you want to do it vigorously and go after that. Think of creative ways or maybe outside the box opportunities. Like, I'll give you an example. So most people, they see an internship opportunity, they apply for it, resume, boom, it's off, and they just wonder if they're going to get something, right? Uh-huh. What if you looked up who the hiring manager was for that, to the best of your knowledge, and you bought an inexpensive, like Amazon Kindle, and you recorded a message on that Kindle, and you put it in a package, and you sent it to them at their work, telling them why you're so excited about that internship.
Wow.
Do you think that might impress somebody?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If that doesn't work, you could go even next level. You get a burner phone, and you can send them a phone, and you can say, I'm going to call you at 1 o'clock on this date. I'm so excited about working for you. So I'm just giving you some ideas that you can think outside the box, or any students that are watching this that can think outside the box. But if you want something, you have to go at it, and you have to go at it in a creative manner, not just here's a resume, let's see what happens.
So do you think that applies to with normal jobs after I graduate, just kind of getting creative with standing out?
Oh, absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea. I go on TV all the time and talk about this in our different markets that I just mentioned. Another thing is in your case you will, because you're going to be on the news and info side, but this might be more relevant to Stratcom, but include a picture of yourself in your resume. Okay. It drives me crazy because I'm going to go look in your social media accounts. I'm going to find you, but if your name's Brian Smith and there's 70 Brian Smiths in Kansas, it's hard for me to discern which one you are. So help me understand who you are, and then I can look and I say, okay, 6 years ago he tweeted this. It might not be something he wanted to put out there. So be careful about that. Have a social media presence. Let us know who you are, but don't do anything stupid on your social media content. So
do you think it's important to kind of tie in work and what we're working on in school and doing into our social media?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I you shouldn't put anything on social media you can't stand behind.
Okay.
If you're going to post I don't even know if they're still here or not. The hawk and the wheel is still a thing. And
Yeah.
So if you're going to post a drunken night on there, you're going to have to live with the fact that you may or may not get hired from an employer by doing that.
Okay.
So it's, at least go into an audit of your social media, if you will. But showing what you've done at school is a great thing. Obviously, picking out your best work. You may not want to put one in where your hair wasn't looking good, or maybe you weren't wearing the most professional clothing.
Okay.
That's another thing a lot of times I see in interviews is people walk in and you would assume they would be looking their best, but oftentimes it doesn't always occur.
Yeah.
So different people have different standards. And the other thing I would say is don't sacrifice your worth. Like, know your value and know the fact that, you can be justified in the fact that you have talent and that you do something well. Look for where you stand out. If everybody's in a pile of tapes or everybody's in a pile of digital resumes here, how can you be the one person over here? And if you are that person, hold fast to what your skills are that they don't have.
Okay, so confidence is key, right?
Confidence is huge. I was, every time you go to like a presentation or you go to some conference in Vegas or some conference across the country, they're always like, you need to be confident. And I'm like, well, I've never lacked that, but some people do. I've got a digital manager on my team and he struggles with confidence. He's fantastically talented, but he doesn't have a lot of confidence. So think outside the box. If you have some weaknesses, how can you improve them? For him, I work with him and he's actually joined an improv class. So trying to get out of the box of his, kind of shell that he's in when he talks. Because I told him, his name's Zach, and he'd be no problem me telling anybody this, but if we're in a group and there's 5 of us and everybody introduces themselves, his presence is lost the quickest because he's just quiet. He's kind of in the shell. His body language is not very great. So have confidence.
Okay, cool. So what has the journalism school at KU kind of done to prepare you for this career that you've taken?
Right, so it gave me a lot of baselines and tools to be able to go out and do things in the real world. You can't fully replicate, the real world in college, and you can sure as heck have a lot of fun in college while you're here, but you can learn, like I said, the most value I got was never in a book. It was hands-on experience. It was doing things like we're doing right now with a green screen in a studio. It's doing things where you're out and you're doing reporting. So I went to the Final Four in 2008. It's been a while now, but with KU and covering those games and being a reporter for those games, it's working with the Kansan, which has a much greater digital presence now than when I was there, and so it's doing things that are actually real-world experience. It's covering softball games and basketball games and debates and anything that goes on here at the university. That goes back to my thing of say yes, be active, and do it.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome back to Lawrence. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Good luck in your career search, and rock chop.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we'll be right back after this break.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Hi, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Mary, and this is your Good Evening KU News Update.
President Trump announced Sunday that ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was killed in a commando raid in Syria. During a nationally televised address from the White House, the president went into the gruesome details of Baghdadi's final moments. Trump said that no Americans were killed in the operation, but that one military dog was injured. Baghdadi was a prominent leader in the Islamic State and a longtime target of the U.S. military.
The governor of California has declared a statewide state of emergency in the midst of multiple widespread wildfires. Approximately 180,000 people were under evacuation over the weekend in Sonoma County. The Kincaid Fire has burned 30,000 acres in Northern California and is only 10% contained.
2 people were killed and 14 injured in a shooting over the weekend near Texas A&M in Commerce in the Dallas suburb of Greenville. According to the police, the shooter is still at large and there is no known motive. 10 of the injured were hit by gunfire, while the other 4 were injured during the ensuing chaos.
The mayor of Lawrence wants to aim for 100% renewable energy by 2025. Lawrence has allocated $75,000 to its climate protection plan in 2020 budget, which is expected to begin early next year.
Kansas football took a homecoming victory over the weekend, defeating Texas Tech 37-34. The Jayhawks came back from a 17-point deficit to tie the Red Raiders with only 13 seconds left in the game. After a blocked field goal and recovered fumble, junior kicker Liam Jones got a second chance and clinched KU's third win of the season with a 32-yard field goal.
Lawrence police are searching for a suspect involved in a shooting on Saturday night. A 50-year-old man was shot in his car at the McDonald's on 6th Street. According to his reports, he sustained significant injuries and was taken to the hospital. Police say they are looking for a black man wearing a red hoodie and red sweatpants.
This has been your Good Evening News KU update. Stick around and Adrian will be back with the weather.
You may not hear it at first, but it's there. Our chant, rising. On this summit, callings converge, voices unify into a chorus that sounds out for good, for greatness. Can you hear it?
Hello, and welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Adrian Campa here with your weather forecast. Now, before we get into the forecast, we do have a few headlines to talk about over the next few days. We will have 2 storm systems that will impact Kansas. One's actually impacting us now, but the second one won't happen for a couple of days. And with that second one, we could actually have a snowstorm here in Lawrence. And thanks to all that, we will experience some winter-like temperatures. Now, speaking of those 2 storm systems, if you take a look at a satellite view, you can see the first one right here. All this cloud cover is associated with the first storm system, and this is going to be pushing through tonight. Now, the second storm system is up here over North Dakota. You can see that comet head starting to develop. That's kind of classic with these type of situations. This will be pushing south towards Colorado, then eventually east over Kansas. Now, that's the one that we really need to watch, since that's the one that's going to give us accumulating snowfall, but I'll get to that later in the forecast. Now, right now, we have a temperature of 37 degrees. It's mostly cloudy with some light wintry mix starting to fall right now. Winds are from the north-northeast at 15 miles an hour, and thanks to that wind, we have a wind chill of 31 degrees. Now, for this evening from 6 to 9 p.m., that light wintry mix should continue. Temperatures are going to get down to around 32 degrees, and the winds will be from the north at 10 miles an hour. Now, for tonight, I'm not expecting much accumulation snow-wise. We could see a trace, possibly up to ½ an inch, but I'm not expecting too much. Now, for tonight, we're expecting a low temperature of 26 degrees. Those rain and snow showers should end before midnight, and our winds will be from the north at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, for tomorrow, this is where we're going to see that second storm system start to slide into Kansas. High temperature of 42 degrees, mostly cloudy throughout the day, and some wintry mix possible in the afternoon. Possible after 4 p.m. and likely in the evening. Only a 40% chance of seeing some form of precipitation during the day. But for tomorrow night, this is where right now we're expecting low temperature of 30 degrees. Rain showers will be changing to snow late, and I'm talking late, probably after 8, 9 p.m. And with that, Tuesday night into Wednesday, we could see 1 to 3 inches of snow possible. Winds will be from the northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour, so it's going to feel pretty miserable out. So you want to make sure to bundle up. Now, our snowfall forecast, this is likely going to change in the next couple of days, but for right now, for Tuesday p.m. through Friday p.m., now, that Friday p.m., I'm thinking most of the snow will be out of here by Thursday afternoon. But as of right now for Lawrence, we are right here in this darker shade of blue. Now, that's for 3 to 5 inches of snow. We could actually see that bumped up. There's 2 models that we really look at, the GFS model and the European model. The GFS model is actually showing a lot higher snowfall forecast than that. It's showing about 10 inches possible for Lawrence. But the European model is kind of lowballing it around 3 to 5 inches. So it's kind of a mixture of the two. We can expect 3 to 5 inches of snow, but just know there's a chance that we could actually see more than that. So you'll want to definitely keep that winter coat handy, since we are expecting this snowstorm to move through Tuesday night, especially Wednesday and into Halloween. Now, looking at our extended forecast, Tuesday, that chance for mixed to snow, 70% chance right now. A high temperature of only 42. Into Wednesday, it's going to snow pretty much all day with a high temperature of only 34 degrees. And look at our low temperature for Wednesday, 23 degrees. Now, Thursday, only a high temperature of 48, and that 40% chance of some AM snow. But then Thursday night, our low temperature is only going to be 20 degrees. And for Friday, only around 47 degrees, but we will start to warm up. So the snow that does fall the next few days will melt. And if you take a look at our weekend, we're getting back up to 50 and then 57 degrees on Sunday. So we will start to rebound temperature-wise, getting back into more of a fall-like pattern instead of this winter pattern that we're in right now. But that's all we have for you today. Stay tuned to the forecast, and we'll see you next week.